Hello everyone. I'm going to show you now how the invoice issuing process works for Amazon vendor orders inside the base platform. Let's walk through the entire process together. First, we'll go to the Orders menu and then click on the Order List tab. All approved and created orders will appear here under New Orders, depending on how we set things up during the Amazon vendor integration. Now, to issue an invoice, there are two main methods. You can do it manually by clicking on the order, selecting Issue Invoice, choosing your invoice series, and clicking to confirm it. This method is simple, but for most sellers, the preferred option is to use automation. Let me explain exactly how this works. We help the seller set up automation so that whenever a paid order comes in, an invoice is issued automatically without the need for any manual steps. The invoice is generated based on the settings you define. The system then sends the invoice data back to the marketplace, generates the shipping label, sends it as well, and even prints both documents automatically on the configured printer. Let me show you the automation settings. In the Orders menu, click on Automation Actions. Here, I've already created two examples to demonstrate how this works in real-world scenarios. The first is the trigger for automatic invoice creation. This trigger is Order has been paid. We set the source to Amazon vendor and then choose the invoice series and issuer to use. I've also added a task to update the order status to ready to ship right after the invoice is issued. Next, we have a second automation that sends the invoice data directly back to Amazon vendor after it's created. Let me demonstrate how it all works. Back in the orders list, we'll simulate the order being paid to trigger the automation. I'll do this manually now, just for the sake of example. But in your real-world setup, as soon as a paid order comes in, the system handles everything automatically, end to end. Let's see it in action. I've confirmed the payment, and now the automation is running. The system has created the invoice, marked it as paid, sent all the necessary invoice data directly to the Amazon vendor dashboard, and updated the order. And that's how the invoice automation process for Amazon vendor orders works. After issuing the invoice and sending it to the marketplace, you can create the shipping package directly through Base using this option here with the Integrated Delivery Service. For example, in my account, I've integrated FedEx to create the shipping labels. I'll click here, fill in the necessary information, and then click on Send Package. It's also possible to create automation, so the system handles the entire process by itself, according to the settings you define. When it comes to accepting orders, ideally, you'll handle that through the integration settings for Amazon vendor. Right here in the configuration screen, you can map the order statuses and define how each status will behave. The accepted status is key. That's the one which, when selected, sends the confirmation back to the vendor system. The idea here is very simple. Let's say you receive a new order. Maybe Amazon requested 100 units of a product, but you know you can only fulfill 2. No problem. You can adjust the quantity right inside the system. Just change the quantity to reflect what you can actually supply. This change will automatically update the available stock in your inventory. Then you change the status to accepted. And that's it. The order is now accepted and confirmed on the Amazon vendor side.